Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Lisa's Love and Light. Happy Thursday to you all. It's Thursday. This week has gone so quickly. How are you guys doing today? I'm glad it's not raining. It's a little chilly out, but it's expected this time of the month. And I hope you guys are doing good and things are going well and these messages are helping you. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for telling others. And thank you for stopping by to be here. I really appreciate that because more and more people are hearing the message. And this channel is for men and women because we all go through something and we all need to be uplifted and encouraged. So stop by, tell others to stop by as well. And we all can have different conversations on how to upbuild ourselves today in this world that we live in, just full of craziness. But my day, it's been good. I like my job. I like what I do. Sometimes my schedule changes, and I did something a little different last week, probably one day last week, and I was a little nervous about it because anything that's a little bit of a challenge, I get nervous and I let myself say whatever, but it's just my way of being nervous, right? Because it's something new, it's out of my comfort zone. But I took a chance and did it, and I really enjoyed, you know, that assignment. Really had it was really interesting. It was fun. It didn't even feel much like work. It was fun. And hopefully I'll get a chance to do it again. But with me, sometimes anything that's out of my comfort zone, I'm not used to. I get nervous and blah blah and all of that. I tell people just ignore the words I say when I get nervous. I just do that, and then when I see it's not what I think it is in my mind, then I'm okay. But anyway, it's been a good week so far, just a busy one. Good things happening. And before we get into this topic of discussion today, I want to tell everyone because today is October 10th, we're getting closer and closer to Election Day. Please make sure everything is and your ducks are in a row, meaning make sure you register and that all your paperwork is up to date so that you can go out and vote. People, this election is extremely important because we're looking at our rights being jeopardized and being taken away. America is always been a country where everyone is a melting pot. People come here to go after their dreams and to build here. And when you have a situation of hate, I heard some, I don't watch too much of the news, but I do now, a little bit. Like, I only can stomach 10 minutes of it and then I got to get out of that energy. But I heard something about, someone, I'm going to put it like this because I don't say a whole lot of details about things. This is YouTube, and I'm aware and cautious of that. But I heard something where it was spewed out because someone is culturally different, um, that their DNA is, they can't help being, how was it worded? They can't help being animalistic or savages basically that's what was being said because of their DNA. They can't help where they come from and who they are. And I just had to turn away from that. That is such hate. The world we live in today, a bunch of hate and negativity. And it's not from God. I'm going to tell you right now, none of that darkness and evil and hate is from God. And I just can't stomach it. And I had to turn away from it. So, what I'm asking you guys to think about your freedoms and the freedoms we have today and the things that we enjoy today. Think about those things being X'd out, you know. And it's so important that we all come out, all of us, and vote, because this election is everything. It means a lot. So I just, before we get into the message, I just want to encourage you all to do that. So, with that being said, I also want to talk about something a little bit because the topic of discussion is honoring vows to God. But before I jump into that topic, I want to tell you guys a little bit of a story about being different. I have siblings. I have three older sisters. I have two brothers. You know, from on my father's side, whatever. But the reason why I'm talking about this was my sisters that I grew up with. I'm next to the youngest. Always been different from me myself because I always been this nerdy kid, different. While everybody was rocking to Madonna growing up, I was into Cindy Lauper, stuff like that. And my mom used to look at me sometimes with amusement, like, what are you doing? Like when she would get me certain things, and I would say, no, Ma, I want this. And it'll be something simple while my sisters and everybody else want something huge. And she's like, why do you want that? I want a book because I want to read that book. And when I was a teenager, I was into Danielle Steele, and I read all of her books. I was like hooked on them, and that's what I did. My older sister, didn't understand. She thought something was wrong with me. I'm weird or whatever. Until she read the book Kaleidoscope, and she was hooked on it. But I like things that are different, simple. I'm not the type of person that, oh, you gotta have, like, let me give you an example. If I had $1 million or $2 million, I'm not gonna go out and buy this extravagant yacht or big extreme house. I'm going to have something simple and nice. It's going to be nice, but it's just going to be simple. Give me a little mini pickup truck or something like that and a nice car, and I'm good. And the little things in life means a lot to me. And when I say thank you for certain things, people look at me like I'm weird or crazy, but I'm so grateful for the little things. You start off with that because if you're a type of person who've gone through what I've gone through and lived the type of life that I've lived, and when God grants you blessings and mercy and give you things, I'm really truly grateful for it. So little things, my mom used to look at me and just shake her head. But what I'm talking about is I always been different. So I'm getting to the topic of my son when one Christmas time and we were talking about what we wanted or whatever. He had a whole list. And I only wanted one thing because we would talk about what we want and whatever. And he said, what is that? And he thought it was going to be something big. And I said, no, I just want a video, a DVD. And the name of it was called Pastor Brown. And he's like, what? I'm like, that's it. That's all I want for Christmas. Because I saw that movie on Lifetime and I knew I had to own it. And we're going to talk about that for a minute. And it was weird, but he found it and put it under the tree, whatever. But that's what I wanted because that movie, the woman in it reminded me of myself in some ways. Not with what she was doing, but just being outcasted from her family. It's about two sisters. I don't know which one was older, but the one who had the issue, their mother had died some years ago, and the father was a pastor. And the woman who had the most problems, I mean, she had a son out of wedlock. She left the son with the pastor and her sister to raise. I don't know if you guys seen it, but it made a huge impact on me because I have always walked to a different beat of the drum. Always been different. People never understood that. But anyway, she was different that she needed to get her life together, right? She was dancing on a pole and stuff like that. No, I've never done stuff like that. But she was really out there in the world, right? Doing a lot of stuff. And I don't think she was doing drugs. I don't think she was doing that. But she was dancing in clubs to make her money and stuff. Like she was just doing a lot of stuff that they didn't agree with. And the pastor, she hadn't seen her father in years. And she went home to see him, right? When he was sick, he had a heart attack when he was in the middle of a sermon. And then he wasn't going to make it. She went home, took the time out. And everybody had something to say. You know how people are judgmental? Not They didn't walk in her shoes, don't know her life, but they judging her because she's the daughter of the pastor and she's doing something different. So when she came home and had this conversation and the looks and blah blah. So when the father was on his deathbed, he called members of the church, like the deacons and his other daughter, and some other close members of the church there. And they gathered all around to see what he wanted. And what he said um, is he wanted that particular daughter to take his place because he was dying. And everybody was like, "What?" Yes, she is to her. She shared the Brown last name. And she had went to school. Let me see. She had went to Bible school and she had all the credentials, but her life was chaos. It was chaos, right? He wanted her to take his place, and the guy who worked under him, the deacon, whatever, was like a son to him or whatever. He thought he was next in place, and then he wanted this, and he said, "This is not up for discussion. This is what I want her to take my place." Blah blah. They were fuming, especially the other sister. She resented her. But there was a purpose for that. You see, let me explain something to you guys. God will take a person who's down in the dirt, who's in a gutter, crawling on all fours, who had the worst kind of life, lived in the worst kind of neighborhoods, and gone through the worst and the most. And he will take them from the dust and the ashes and bring them to a place of greatness. And he does it creatively. If you watch this movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. I mean, she went home, and then she didn't know he was going to make this decision, and he asked her if she was going to accept it, and it was his dying wish. So she didn't really give an answer, but as she prayed and thought about it and wanted to change her life, she accepted it. Guess what the congregation did? They were digging up dirt, people. They were digging up all types of dirt because she used to swing on a pole, at that life or whatever. But she was willing to make this change because she knew she had to change her life. And everybody was coming against her. The whole congregation, they didn't want her there. They wanted that deacon who was underneath him there, but he didn't choose him to take his place. He wanted this particular daughter. And when the other daughter was bitter about it, it was because he said, he made an illustration about, like a metaphor in a Bible that talks about Jesus having all these sheep. No, I'm not, how do I say this? About one lost sheep, right? And even though you have 100 over here and one is lost, the shepherd will go after and find that lost sheep and bring it back with everybody else. And that's the illustration or description that the pastor gave to the other daughter. You already have your life together. You already know, but she was lost for a long time and she needs to be joined back into God. And the way they gave her hell, I'm telling you, made her life a living hell, digging up dirt so the congregation won't, see her in a positive light. Watch the movie and you'll know what I'm talking about. And then, God will take people who are broken down and who have gone through the most and the worst. And he will take them and put them in a position and make a purpose in their life. And let me tell you about that. And this is why I'm saying honor and vows to God. Because when he does that, and one of the reasons why God does that, people, is because that person can be a testimony and an example to the other people there. Because there are people who are amongst the congregation or people in this world who are in despair. And if they know other people have walked in their shoes and gone through what they have gone through, then they can help that person. Like for me, I have never done anything like that, but I've been homeless before for a little bit before I had my child and things like that. I didn't have a place to stay. I've been shunned and excommunicated from a cult like religious organization that I didn't have a choice because I grew up in it when I was a minor and I knew it wasn't for me when I got to be a certain age. I have been talked about, stepped on, lied on. I mean, the worst kind of malicious lies there are, and outcasted for decades. I'm going to say it like that. I've been through the most and the worst where I was all on all fours, literally crawling like a dog. And I know what it is to be in that type of position and to feel the despair and the depression and feeling like everything is against you. It's like the metaphor I use where those doors are closing in, the walls are closing in, and you don't know what way to go and what direction, no way out. And then I had to turn to God. You either rise up or drown in that. And when I turned to God and asked Him to help me from all of this, because there was no way out, people, but God. God lifted me up from that. And today I'm in a different position. I'm not even the same Lisa Vaughn I was back 4 years ago, 5 years ago. After losing my mother and losing so many people in my life and being down to the ground, and the people I thought had my back, they riding with me, right? They're not going to let me sink and drown. These people were gone. It felt like being on a Titanic, and they got off and said, "Bye, girl." And then they come back to the scene of what was left over to see if I made it or not. Not because they felt bad or anything like that. And so when I got to that point and things were like that and I was down, so when people talk about they want to see me down, busted, and disgusted, I've been there. I've been there through the most and the worst, but I put my trust in God. And as I did that, He started to raise me up. But He really started to raise me up when I made vows and honor vows to Him, vows that I can keep, things that I know that I can do. And as I made those vows and continue to honor those vows to God, He started to lift me up. It doesn't matter what other people are talking about. I tune that noise out, because where were those people when I was on all fours? Where were them when I lost my mother and I couldn't have go to a funeral because everything was shut down? Where was that? Where were these people who said, "Lisa Vaughn, I got your back, don't worry," when everything was crashing down around me and I was down to the ground? There was nobody there. Nobody there but God. Okay. And losing my dog, going through all this, losing relationships with people who just disappeared, did disappearing acts. People who pretended to be there and they were nowhere around. So God needed me to see behind the mask, to see who these people really were. They don't have your back. The only one who have your back is God. And as I did that and started to raise myself up, it took a long time for me to see that, because I always want to see the good in people, or at least say, you know what, I can help change her or him. Because if I do this and do that, they will follow suit. No, you can bring the horse to the water, but you can never make it drink. You know, people have to be motivated to change. They have to have that desire to do so, or you can't do anything about it. But believe me, when I got like that, I saw what God was trying to show me all along. I don't know what happened, guys, but here I am. The screen blocked out or something. I don't know. We're stuck or something. Here we are. I'm still here, guys. I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to say that, God showed me and helped me and lifted me up. And I know that He has my back. And so now I can talk to people who've been where I've been or who are currently going through that, and encourage them and lift them up. And this is why another reason I'm here on this channel, to let people know that they can rise from the ashes, from the dust, from nothing, to a place of where God wants you to be. And I know that from example, not example, from experience. I know that. So all this other stuff that people are talking about and the noise, I tune that stuff out, because they were never there when I needed them. Only God was, you know? And so I honor my vows. I don't play with God. And as I do that, God lift me up and help me. If I don't know what direction to go, I ask Him and He shows me. So when you decide that you're going to make, you know, heal yourself and lift yourself up, make vows, little vows to God that you know that you can handle and you can do. And as you take those steps to do that, God is going to be behind the scenes taking 2, 3, and 4 steps on your behalf, no doubt. and I'm talking from experience. You know, guys, um, we're going to continue this message again tomorrow because I have to go. But I wanted to share this with you because step by step, little by little, I'm going to share things with you that's going to help your life and help you on this journey and path of healing. That's the message today, guys. Thank you for being here. Stop by again tomorrow. I'm not sure what time. And we're going to talk about this a little more. I'm going to do a part two of this message. I don't know what's going on with the computer today, but some of the message looked like it blanked out or something. We're going to talk further in depth tomorrow about this message. Thank you for being here, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you again tomorrow. Thank you, and I'll see you then. Bye for now.